Hey, what's the deal? This Hype South with Child Time TV. Thanks for tuning in.
Eat this shit up.
I was sitting around and I was thinking, I saw a article about CMG being the hardest working label in hip hop right now. And I have to agree, right? It's obvious when you got Yo Gotti that's still putting out records, you know what I'm saying, can actually rap for real, you know what I mean? It has a track record of being a excellent rapper. And then you got Black Youngster, he did his thing, kind of cooled off a little bit, but he's still in the game, he's still doing his thing. You got Mozzie, just signed Mozzie, you know what I'm saying? Mozzie been around for a minute, he been doing his thing. And not only to sign Mozzie, but to sign an artist that's already established, if you would, is kind of different in this day and age. Most of the time when a label sign an artist, most of the time it's a new artist. It's a brand new artist that we ain't never heard of, and they build them up and make them who they are in most cases. You know what I mean? And then they also have ESTG, you know what I mean? A young guy, do his thing, you know what I mean? Make good records, do views, do numbers. But I was thinking, who is really the hardest working label in hip hop history? And I forgot it. And you can't forget about Moneybagg Yo. You know what I mean? Moneybagg killing shit. He all over the radio. He all over features. He just doing his thing. He probably one of the hottest artists in the game, up there with Lil Baby. So you know what I mean? You got honorable mentions like No Limit. They did their thing for a while, and they put out reputable artists. They had a nice run, but I don't think they compare to what CMG doing right now. Then you got Bad Boy. Bad Boy did their thing too. Biggie only put out two albums. He was hot, one of the greatest to ever do it, right? But then they put out Mace and they put out some other R&B acts, and then they also had Diddy. Just the sheer volume and consistency of which CMG doing it, I don't think they measure. You got Rap-A-Lot, of course, decades and decades in the game. They've been doing it, but they kind of up and down on like breakout artists at times. They did their thing with Scarface. They had the Ghetto Boys. Zero was kind of like a regional star, even though he's known throughout the game. He was kind of like a regional star. They brought in Juvenile. Juvenile did his thing. They had Yugmouth. They had their affiliation with Drake. But I don't think they measure up to what CMG's doing right now. You got Death Row. Can't forget about Death Row. Death Row had Tupac. They had Snoop. They did their thing at a high level. They had some other acts, but again, it was short-lived. And as much as Death Row and labels like No Limit and Rap-A-Lot are staples in the rap game and in the rap industry and well respected, as far as the sheer volume of putting out records and the consistency of the product, I don't think anything is compared to what CMG doing. But then you have the only label that I think is comparable to what they're doing is Cash Money.
For show, playboy. How can't outstun us with these cars? Believe it. You know me, I don't need no introduction in this.
Yeah, make a nigga spend his cash, his last hand.
Cash Money had Lil Wayne. Arguably, or they still have Lil Wayne for the most part, I guess. Lil Wayne, arguably the best rapper alive. He had his run, is undisputed and is incomparable, you know what I'm saying, of what Lil Wayne did throughout the early 2000s, mid 2000s is incomparable. You know what I mean? And then had BG, Juvenile, Turk. He didn't have the type of career that BG had or Juvenile had. You had Baby and the Big Timers.
What's up? Fresh is our turn, baby.
But the Big Timers, even the Big Timers era was kind of short-lived. They not still together. They not still putting out music. Baby was never just a rapper. He was always looked at like a game spitter. So, but they still moved a lot of units. And I'm gonna bring in a couple of my friends, a couple colleagues, just to get their opinion because I think it's a conversation worth having. So I got my boy Forever on the line, man. Bro, what do you think when we talking about the most? And we're not even gonna say the most. Who's the hardest working label of all time? But just who had the most impressive record label in hip hop of all times. And I honestly think it's between Cash Money and CMG. CMG killing it right now. What you think?
As far as say CMG, yeah, they definitely doing their thing. They got Bag, they got Bag, Youngster, they got Black Boy JP.
Forgot about Black Boy.
They got 42 Dub.
Forgot about 42.
They got ESTG, Ozzy. That's who hot right now. Got it, of course. So they solid. I think they pretty much they doing it for this generation. And shout out to Gotti. I mean, man, I love both of them, man, because I love what Gotti doing. I like how Gotti moves. I like the artists he putting out, and I feel like if he turned up Mozzie, I don't think anybody fucking with Gotti at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? If he turned Mozzie up, but man, Cash Money, bro, they ain't no world of their own, man. Like, I mean, this dude done had so many people. I'm talking about Ace Hood to BG to Wild Wild, Busta Rhymes. You know what I'm saying? That boy had Christina Milian. That boy had DJ Khaled signed to him. Drake, Freeway. This boy had who was that? Oh, the Hot Boys that I can think of. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
so let me ask you this: do you and you making extremely valid points, my nigga? I'm talking about extremely. You know what I'm saying? But do you think with some of those situations being such short-lived, because even though he might have had these artists signed to his label, in reality, like those not the talent, those not the acts that we really remember. Although you still got to give them credit for having them put their name on a dotted line in respect to business. But I don't remember the records that Christina Milian put out with Cash Money. I don't remember the records that Busta Rhymes put out on Cash Money or Bow Wow. None of those. You know what I'm saying? Ace Hood. I don't even. Is that who Ace Hood came out under when he came out? Or was he under another label and then later on eventually signed to Cash?
But he was signed to him at one point. But when you think of Cash Money, bro, like, and I'm talking about from the 2000s, like around our era. When you think Drake, when you think Nicki, when you think even Tiger had his son, Wayne, of course. You know what I'm saying?
But that's kind of Young Money though. I'm reluctant to give Cash Money the Drake tip of the hat. I'm reluctant to give him the Tiger tip of the hat. Business wise, he was definitely, they were signed to him, but them was really Wayne acts.
Yeah. It was. If you go look at all they albums, man, it's Cash Money at the bottom, bro.
I know it.
Cash Money, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
and I can't take nothing away from Cash Money in that respect, though. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I ain't foolish. You know what I'm saying? I know them was Cash Money artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't have Young Money without Cash Money.
When you think, you know, Young Thug, Rich Homie Quan. I mean, that's Rich Gang, but that's Cash Money, man. We know, you know what I'm saying? When you think all these little, man, I don't know, man, Baby. So basically, you saying Baby versus Yo Gotti.
Man, but hey, I'm saying Baby versus Yo Gotti in a nutshell.
Baby versus Yo Gotti, man. Yeah.
So, if we being honest, man, I may be being a prisoner of the moment. And if I'm looking at this thing and I'm saying, I'm really putting in perspective the sheer success that the Cash Money have had over the years, you know, I got to give them their respect. And I got to tip my hat to them. Although CMG really doing some phenomenal things and they really doing some impressive things, I think I'm being a prisoner of the moment. But like I say, the sky's the limit for them and what they're able to do. I think the sky's the limit, man. So, man, there's some new shit we doing, man. I hope y'all like it. Until next time, this Hype South with Child Time TV. Peace.